How are we doing? Happy Wednesday night. Thought I'd come on live this week and we're just going to go over some hip mobility exercises that you can do. So for those out there, I hope you're having a good start to the season. For those that are down south and get to golf year round, well, I hope your warmer season is off to a good start. I got a big golf trip this weekend, getting in about 36, and 18. Can't do the math, but whatever that equals, get to do that this weekend, so I'm excited. But we're going to go over some hip mobility exercises today, all right? So I'm going to give you 3 of them. We're going to work on internal, external rotation of our hips. So internal rotation would be this way, okay? So if I'm doing a backswing, I'm internally rotating on that back hip, externally rotating on this hip, and then on my downswing, externally rotating on my backside hip, internally rotating on that front side hip. Okay, so we're going to work on that. We're going to work on a little hip extension, okay, because we need to have some extension in the hip when we're coming down, tucking the pelvis underneath, all right, so we don't always get into that too much of that early extension. So first one, 90-90 position, okay, so 90-90 means that your hip and your trunk or your pelvis are 90 degrees, and then your knees are at 90 degrees, and we're doing that with both legs here, okay, so you're going to turn so your chest is straight over that front side knee right there. You are going to lean forward till you feel a stretch. Some of you may need to use your hands, okay, to help, decrease the intensity, but ideally you can eventually go down and not use your arms at all. But some of you are going to be here, okay? So we're going to lean our chest, pivoting right at that hip, over that front knee till you feel a stretch in that back hip, that glute region, okay? You're going to hold this for 90 to 120 seconds. Now, I'm not going to bore you to death and sit here for 90 to 120 seconds. As much as I like to think I have a pretty face, none of you want to stare at it that long, okay? So, lean it down, hold it for 90 to 120 seconds. After that 90 to 120 seconds, so we're getting the muscles to relax, we're getting the brain to stop protecting the area, to get the neurological system to let go, to give us a little more range of motion, all right? If you're doing 30-second stretches, you're wasting your time. Don't even do it, all right? But if you're actually going to take some time, want some tissues to change so you can get more range of motion, then you need to hold it for this long, all right? All right, so say I've been here for 90, 120 seconds because I've been talking a long time. What you're going to do now is you're going to keep that position, but I'm going to take that shin right here, and I'm going to drive that son of a gun right into the ground. So I'm going to push in there, right? I'm going to go at 30% effort of maximal contraction. So I'm pushing at 30% effort for 5 seconds. Then I'm going to go to 50% effort, so I'm ramping up how hard I'm pushing that shin right here into that ground. Okay, another 5 seconds, 75% for 5 seconds, and then you're going to go as hard as you can that is safe and pain-free. So I'm going to give everything I got, pushing down, breathing into my belly the whole time, 5 seconds, and then I'm going to relax. Okay, I'm done pushing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can sink a little bit farther now. And you're probably going to be able to because now we just got in the muscles. Again, we tricked the neurological system to give us a little bit more range of motion there. Okay, then we're going to again ramp up 30%, 5 seconds, 50%, 5 seconds, 75, and then everything as hard as you can that it's safe and is pain-free. All right, after you do 3 rounds of the contractions, okay, so you only have to do the 90 to 120 seconds once, but then after you do the 5 seconds ramp up, so we're going to do 3 rounds of that. What you're going to do then is you're just going to flip and you're going to do the other side, okay? And then you would do the same process. I'm not even going to go through that with you. Just watch the first side, and then you'll see the second side, okay? So that was to try to improve a little bit of our external rotation of our hip there. Now, if I want to work on internal rotation, you could stay in this position, and you could twist back and get over this hip, and you might feel a stretch there, but I like this one more, okay? We're going to go here, bend the knees a little bit, and all you're going to do is you're going to let that knee fall in, and now you're going to feel a good stretch on the outside if you're doing it. If you have bad knees, you may not like this one. You might have a little stress there. Play with the angle a little bit and see if it takes a little stress off that knee. Let it fall in. Same thing, 90 to 120 seconds. You can even add a little extra stretch over pressure with your arm, okay? 90 seconds there. Okay, now I'm going to push my knee this way. 30% effort, 5 seconds. 50% effort, 5 seconds. 75%. And then as hard as I can. That's pain-free and doesn't cause any discomfort, and it's safe. Okay, relax. Can we sink a little deeper? Okay, repeat that process 3 times. Then you would do it here. Hold it for 90, 120 seconds. 5 rounds of 30, 50, 75, and max, 3 rounds. All right, so now we've done an external rotation and we've done an internal rotation of the hip exercise. And the last thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a little hip flexor stretch that's gonna work on that hip. Then hopefully if you get a little looser here, you can get more of that hip extension motion. Okay, so I'm gonna show you 2 ways of doing it, positions. Half kneel position, 1 knee forward, upright. Rib cage is locked down, okay? I don't want to see you bending your back, okay? And then if you saw it from the side here, you're going to tuck that pelvis. So my back's kind of, you can see it there. When I tuck it, it's actually flat now. And you're going to intensify the stretch of that front hip, okay? Ideal if you take like 2 pulls. So I can take a golf club, put it right there. You push down into those. I am pulling that hip forward. I tuck the pelvis. The rib cage is locked down. And I'm holding that for 90 seconds. And then I am going to start pulling this knee forward. I'm going to act like I'm pulling it forward, but it's going to stay. My hip might slide a little bit forward, intensifying that stretch right there. And then you're going to pull 30% harder, 50%. I am pulling back with the left leg. So the left leg's pulling back while this hip is trying to go forward on the right side. 75 and 100. All right, 3 rounds, and then you would switch sides. So there you have it. That is 3 different hip mobility exercises that I love to do. I put in a lot of my clients' programming to work on their hip mobility, whether they're a golfer or just someone that has a crappy hip that needs to be fixed, because that can lead to many problems, stiff hips, lead to back problems, knee problems, and stuff like that. So if you're having some issues, give that a go. Try that out. Mobility is stuff we have to do on a daily basis. It's not like, hey, you're going to see a lot of changes in a week. No, this takes months. It's going to be even like years sometimes that we have to constantly put the tissue on, stress the tissue in a certain way to get it to conform to what we want it to do. All right.